wouldn't be a technology podcast. We didn't talk about AI.
Oh, yeah.
How has Opto deployed AI, and what can family offices learn from how you guys are using AI?
Yeah, and it's one of those things where AI means so much now that you want to be cognizant of how you're using the word, and there's a lot of hype out there, and so we definitely see a lot of AI tools pitched at family offices that are, I think, a bit premature or kind of more vaporware than anything. But that said, it's a really powerful tool if you know how to use it. And so, what is AI really great at? It's great at repetitive processes. It's great at like things where there's large amounts of data involved, including training data. And it can honestly be a very effective way to scale communication. And so those are areas that we're focused on. On the repetitive processes side, that's things like drafting fund documents, filling out subdocs. You can train models. We pulled in hundreds of thousands of subdocs and figured out what changes, what doesn't, what questions you need to answer so that you can work across subdocs. And like AI was a great tool in doing that. And we've had, extremely low NIGO numbers across all our subdocs. And it's people can do, I think the record is in the system right now it was 50 subdocs in 40 minutes. So less than a minute per subdoc is very different than what we've heard of how this usually goes. On the large data side and also manual process side was that diligence piece of like, no human wants to sit and type out all the information that was in a PDF into a system, and you're going to have errors, and how are you going to capture it? How do you just read off of that and start creating your database in a consistent way? And how do you teach the AI how you think such that the start of your sort of investment framework is in there? Like if you really like first-time managers, how do you weight that? What do you look for in a first-time manager? Is it they were an operator before, or is it they were a fund manager before? And so you can start to bake in how you operate to that. And so when you think about like G1, if they were a great investor, them being comfortable with how their legacy is going to be maintained because they can sort of download how they have invested successfully into a system, that being extremely helpful. And then also the data capture side and building your data moat. And then the communication piece of, even the most number friendly among us, like if you can get a quick snippet, 3 bullets, like often that is more digestible and actionable. And so, using that to create communication tools internally to streamline how different beneficiaries might get different information, who wants the full kit and caboodle, who wants the excerpt, and making that not a problem that, you need 3 or 4 IR people all working day and night to make that happen.
This is personalization of communication.
Yeah, it's customization at scale. The last thing I will say, though, is on the risk side, AI has made threats on cybersecurity and phishing much more dangerous. And so it's also just worth being cognizant, even if you don't think you're going to adopt AI yet as a family office, that the bad actors have already adopted it, that people are getting phone calls that sound like they're from the voice of a relative, that even video calls where it's a full deep fake. It's worth getting up to speed on the cybersecurity side, no matter what, even if you're like, hey, the other tools feel premature. Though, again, we think especially in that diligence and communication piece, we've already cracked some things that seem to be adding a lot of value to families. But I think it's going to be, I wouldn't trust AI to make my investment decisions anytime soon, personally.
Yeah, I think that's a good point around decision making, and I don't think we're obviously quite there yet. Obviously, with AI, there's been a lot of hype. I think a lot of firms slap AI on their name and try to go for a 10x versus what a business it should be a 4x and off and running. But I think certainly in the alternative investment world, where so much of that information is unstructured, locked in PDF, that it has been really good at kind of unlocking that information. And then when you have these huge data sets, to be able to take a look at these outliers and even to create narratives like really quickly. There. And amazing thing about AI is, and I think for a lot of family offices that they need to realize this is not future talk. This is today.
It's possible today. And our framework it's kind of like the Iron Man suit. It's not that AI is going to take over final say on diligence. It's how do you make the human in the loop 10x as effective? Like investment professionals are often the most expensive headcount in a family office. If that person can screen, again, 10,000 things before they could screen 100, you're squeezing a lot more juice out of some of your key resources.